I feel everything must be stimulated. Your taste buds, your eyes, it bothers me when I walk into a theater and people sit down and oh, it's wonderful. Did you enjoy yourselves? They were sent to help me. You think I am supposed to help them, but God sent them
To help
to be, and my dancers are that to me.
Yes.
They're my gifts. They could dance anywhere.
Yeah.
This is Caribbean. It's the Catherine Dunham technique, and it's the only Caribbean technique. And I said to myself, first me I hear the name. Me never know nothing about no Catherine Dunham technique. So I shut my mouth and I said, and it's Caribbean. He said, yes, it's Caribbean. It's the Caribbean technique.
It's the Caribbean
Yeah, I
technique.
said, okay. I keep quiet and say, and he was very angry. But that was the moment. I said to myself, whoa, somebody need to create something that look Caribbean then. In that little moment, everything in my life told me something in my brain. How many things I'm walking over, how much information about my own culture I am passing every day.
I'm excited to introduce this powerful woman, this short but very tall woman. She's inspired me and she doesn't even know.
Wow.
And so to introduce her, I resorted to her LinkedIn page, which I thought had a great description of her story thus far.
It says, DrLAntoinetteStines is a dancer,
Choreographer,
actress, teacher, lecturer,
administrator, author, and visionary. Creator of LAntech, a modern contemporary Caribbean dance technique, Dr. Stines continues to impact on the direction and future of Caribbean dance.
Dr. Stines has a long and varied performing history, which ranges from classical ballet to Yoruba Orisha dance.
Her dance career began in Jamaica with Alma Makian between 1961 and 1971, continued to the Martha Graham School, and finally through to Pepsi Bethel Authentic Jazz Dance Company between 1975 and 1977, and the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theatre between 1977 and 1978.
Regarded as an expert in popular folkloric Jamaican dance and the development of contemporary dance, Dr. Stines has lectured in Africa, the Caribbean, Europe, North and South America.
Using LAcadco, which she created in 1982 as her canvas, Dr. Stines' work is inspired by the virility of Jamaica's culture and ancestry, the sensuality of its people, and the natural mystic blowing through the air. L'Antoinette, Dr. Stines, it's an honor to have you on Curtain Call.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure
big
for
pleasure.
me. For Damion.
Look, I am very happy when you agreed to sit down with us. And I'm just going to wait until the interview go on for me to just ask. There are so many questions I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
From the very first time I met you in Beat.
Yes, I was about to go to
Yeah.
that memory too, but we did not
Indeed.
discuss it. So you remember what Beat is?
I remember the first time I met you, but I didn't know it was beat.
Oh,
First time I met, actually, now I think about it, the first time I had a conversation with you, yeah, it was Beat. Blacker had started a performing arts company, and he would invite guest directors, creators to come and work with us, and he brought you in to work with us on dance.
Yes,
Yes.
I remember.
and it was Destiny, was the song that we were dancing to
Yes.
with Buju Banton.
Yes.
And at that time, Sabrina had rhythm in her shitting because L'Antoinette used to say, "Look at her, she's getting it, come."
Which I found strange because in movement class at Edna Manley, when they would say, and left, I'd go, this left Sabrina. So when I remember,
Yeah, man. She was star girl in there.
I think what you saw was effort. Because it couldn't be that.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
I can't dance, but I don't think I'm the best dancer in the space. But I remember that, and what I remember from that meeting with you is that you were giving us these stretch exercises where we're on the ground, the legs were spread across, and you wanted us to learn how to breathe into an extension. This is my terminology. I mean, I struggle, but I don't understand, the foot that I've not been able to reproduce it since. But you said, you came over me and said, relax and breathe in. And when you said that, I found myself, my legs just extending easily out, like me, I do one proper stretch. And it was metaphorical because if you just relax, you will be able to.
Yeah, the muscles function much better.
Yeah, so
When
that
you
was.
want, especially for stretches, you're releasing. But breath is very important for all movement, for life. Breath is very important.
Yes.
Well, it's good to know, yeah, that you didn't have a bad memory of me.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. And then the next full conversation I had with you was I was invited to speak at drama school about life after drama school, and you were there. And you gave a nice word of encouragement to me that I didn't even know that you were at my graduation from Edna.
Yeah.
And you said, if you were in Africa, I don't remember which country in Africa you did say, at your graduation, all the people would have come out and would have been laying leaves and whatever. Like you had a whole...
They'll be celebrating in the community for you.
The way she described it, like, but I was like, me? Really? Because I'd graduated top of the class and I didn't even know you had seen me from then. You say, yeah, I saw you. You have a bright future ahead of you. So you've been inspiring without even know you're inspiring.
This is one of my important to me in this life, in this trad, to make people feel stronger and better about themselves. And sometimes I can identify when there is a little teeny moment of insecurity. And I feel as if it is my responsibility, not just for LAcadco dancers, but because to me, everybody is my children. Everybody are my children. To give that person that little strength, that little nudge. We need to give love, we need to give love and strength to each other. And everybody needs it. So I hope in that moment that was what happened.
Yes, that's exactly what happened.
And some tough love too.
Yeah,
Because
man.
that rehearsal, I remember, you're nice now.
Yeah.
But she was working.
Yeah, no, she's a tough choreographer.
My thing is that if I left you and you didn't get challenged and you didn't move up a notch, then why was I there? I don't. If I leave, come there, and when I leave, you are at the same place you were before. Then I could stay home and watch a television show. I could do other. When I leave you, you must have been challenged for you to move, to something to happen. And sometimes you move in a block, it's heavy. You have to move it. And so it's not an easy move. But when you move it, you feel satisfied.
Yes.
So that's what, for everywhere I walk into the room, when I finish, you must feel as if I grew in some way.
So when did you first feel the need to move in the direction of dance in your life?
That question is not a hard question to answer because I don't think I ever felt the need to move in that direction. I think I came here in that direction.
Explain why you said that.
I think that this is my hand with my fingerprint, and that's your hand and your hand. And in this hand, my hand, destiny is. It's in my hand. It's in my fingerprint. It's in every cell. And I think whereas some people fight the destiny or not allowed to do their destiny because sometimes parents, sometimes you yourself say, oh, why would I want to do that? I was in my mother's room dancing. That's what my mother told me. And she said I didn't walk first, I danced first. So I would pull up in the crib and just move to the rhythm and do things as a baby. And she who can't dance to save her life would wonder, why is she, I couldn't walk, but I could feel the rhythm, which reminded me of my daughter Amani.
Yes.
Bringing her from the hospital after her birth at UWI and going up to Gordon Town. And at that time, they used to still allow sound boxes on the street. And she was in my arm. And when we were passing the sound box and the rhythm of the atmosphere moving to the rhythm. And I remember doing that. What is this? She was like a rhythm taker. My my daughter was at Raytown before she was 3 months. In
Wow.
a little bassinet, moving to the rhythm. And that was me. I believe I am extremely blessed by the divine energies of the universe. And I did not move in that direction. I was sent to be in that direction.
And you were obedient.
And I'm obedient. Because that direction has fed me. That direction has given me wisdom in many areas. Dance is not just the body. It's spirit first, mind second, body last. And that combination of spirit, mind, and body elevates you. And so it's not just going to a dance class and put up your leg. And for me,
It's not just technique.
no, it's not just technique. And so I don't ever believe that I chose to go in that direction. There was not a thought about it. It was the direction I was sent to be in.
You know, that's very funny you said the direction you were sent to be in. And I remember an article written up about the drummer boy, your son, Aaron.
Yes.
And his response was that he was born drumming. Yeah, he's been a drummer from, I dare say, from the womb.
Well, let me tell
So
you,
it's-
that little boy get in trouble for drumming because of me. That little boy would go to school and drum desk before he owned a drum.
Wow.
Before I knew, because it was Clara Race who choreographed a dance called Amataka Zelo, who it was all South African drums. And she handed him a bell. And she said, you're not going to play the drum until you understand the rhythm on this bell. And he played the bell very humbly. And the day he put down the bell and went to the drum. But before that, the teachers would complain because he would beat the drum on the desk. It went up on the desk one time and take his foot and beat the drum.
Wow.
So I used to have to sit with him and say, you cannot go to school and do these things. They will kick you out. You can't do that.
Because they don't see it as expression, they see it as disruption.
No, but
Yes.
I agree with him.
You know, and so funny, persons would hear you say he stood on the desk and danced or beat the drum, and they'd say, "No, man, she exaggerate." But I assure you,
exaggerating.
he's
No,
amazing.
you don't have to you have to understand. Patsy Ricketts' mother, I don't remember her name, was a violinist. She was a very famous violinist in Jamaica, and they lived down the road from us. And he went down there, and 2 days after, I was asked to come down there because he decided he will learn the violin. And she put the violin in his hand and she told him how to hold it, and he just played it. And she sent for me. We were going on tour, and we do a piece called Mystic Revelation, Bingi, a Mystic Revelation of Rastafari. And in it, someone plays the horn. So long, Rastafari, I call you. And the horn man kept making mistake. And my children don't go on tour because they are my children. They go on tour because they have something to do on the tour. You know, when we go buy an airline ticket for you to come on vacation, you have to do something. So I had traveled, and somebody had this little children synthesizer thing, brand new in a box, throwing in the garbage in America. She said, oh, throw that away. So I looked at it and I said, what are you doing? I said, is it? She said, it's brand new, but nobody hears what I play. I said, give it to me. And I've carried it home. And I carried it home, this little thing, you know. And he said to me, Mommy, I can play it on the synthesizer. Of course, I'm laughing.
Yeah.
Play what?
He's about how old at this time?
12, 13,
Okay.
14, that type of age. And I hear him and his brother Bobby on the veranda. Bobby sing it and him play it. And the next rehearsal, it was time for the dance. And the man make the mistake and him say, I can't try no, Mommy. And he just sat and played it.
Wow.
So, and he just plays the instruments. He just plays them until Ibu said to me, don't trouble him. I took him to Edna Manley, to a lady, private lessons to learn to read music. And she made a mistake. She put the paper in front of her and she said, well, this one sounds like this. And she played the whole thing. And he said also. And then she started saying what the note is and everything. And she played. And the next day, and she said, he's so bright. Look at me. He just came and yesterday I taught him and he just And I said, Aaron, tell the woman the truth. Tell the woman, say, if you play this something, me hear this something, and me I go play this something.
Yes.
I said, talk the truth now, Aaron. Are you reading on that paper? And he said, no. She played for me. So I played.
Yes.
And then Ibu told me to leave him alone because his creativity, when he's ready to learn it, to read it, he will learn it. But allow him the freedom.
Yes.
And he's an actor too. I know we're not talking about Aaron, but he won Best Actor one year at School Drama Festival.
Yeah, he's an actor too.
Yeah.
But you know, we're not talking about Aaron. This interview is not about him, but I see you sit there and I'm seeing an image of a root, literally, because out of this root comes Amanye. And
Oh gosh.
Amanye, I remember her in the Rasta. Oh my God, what's the name of the guy?
I don't know
what he's singing either.
Good. I applaud you.
And she was on the dump doing the dance.
Yes.
Stop it.
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah, and I was in London.
Anthony B.
There you go. She was 7 or 8 years old.
Yes.
And I got so angry that they took her to a real
Oh my
dump.
God.
And she was to dance at that dump.
She
But
was,
it began with Susan Couch. Susan Couch asked me to allow her to perform at a performance in the stadium, in the arena, not in the national. And I am backstage with this child who's going to dance to Susan's song. And I cannot hold her. I am trying to hold her because it's not her time to go on the stage. And she is fighting me to run onto the stage. And when it's time to go down, I couldn't hold her now. She ended up on this, she just did so onto the stage and just did slowly at an extension to her ear.
Yeah, man. That the foot, there, man. It's like a third hand.
And you know she can't dance, she don't dance anymore because of the major surgery.
Yes,
But she believes that God has a reason.
Yeah.
She at first she was upset. At first there was a lot of tears. And time passed. And a lot of praying because here was this girl who, you know, and then
I think of Emmanuel with two things. Her big smile, because when you saw her, because every when she was little, it's just teeth, and as Damion said, it's like the leg is an arm. You know,
and the spirit.
Yes.
But she says, I remember when she was a baby in the car taking Bobby them to school. This is a baby in a car seat, humming songs. And one time Bobby said, but that is a real song, Mommy. How she know that song? So I do believe in past life experiences and past life memories. She would always be singing. And when she would always be writing poetry. So it's a way of writing songs.
Yes.
So I'm not surprised that she's writing songs.
That she's gone into music.
And she's transitioned from
And
the
she has
dance.
transitioned
Too.
because if she don't have something artistic to do, she's going to die.
Yeah.
Her spirit is going to die. And then her body is going to die. She has, because she's an artist all over. Even when she cook. When a man says she's going to cook, I'm excited.
You go, your taste bud, go and get
I go sit down.
a party.
Because what she do, even when she cooks, you know, it's a piece of art.
Yes.
So I guess maybe I am the root, but they're all better than me, I think.
There are some online challenges between mom and daughter.
Yeah.
There's one where I don't remember the song.
She called me, she thinks I'm her toy, you know. She thinks I'm her toy. So what happens is I'm brought, come on, we're going to do this. It's a tic-tac thing. I said, okay, let's do this.
Yeah, man.
And I do it, and I'm having fun and she's having fun, and I realize that, but this thing won't get posted. This is after I don't do it, you know, I know this thing won't go far.
Yes.
But, you know, you make age what you want to make it, right? I have no idea what is age.
You just live.
I don't have an idea what is age. So sometime yesterday I was on the set with a jeans. It is my jeans, the whole the knee tear up. It wasn't something I put on. I saw my jeans stay.
Yes.
You know? And my niece said to me, you sure you're the age you are? Because I teach dance class same way. I demonstrate.
Yeah.
I do things.
Yeah.
But it's because I am not in this thing of age that I am supposed to know because of an age.
Yes.
Become a different human being.
Yes.
I don't know how to do that.
We read that you did classical ballet and so on.
Yeah,
Yes, I
and,
did.
and Alvin Ailey and all
I
that.
did. I
You left Jamaica to go to the States to
Yes,
study.
yes.
Did you have any difficulty
Yes.
in the early years establishing yourself in the world of dance?
I'm going to answer your question a little differently.
All
If I
right.
might?
Yep.
I may, if I may. So I'm in New York City, and I'm in Queens. On the first day, I take a train to go to Manhattan to go to claim so me going to audition for Ailey. It's about 800 people auditioning. So I decided to tell you I'm destined for what I do, you know. I am peeping into the audition room. I learn the whole thing and I'm teaching the people who go to audition. It changed. It changed from me auditioning to telling them, so this is what them give them here. I'm teaching everybody. As a little girl, I went to have a appendectomy up at UA. And my mother came to visit me and they couldn't find me because I had the children outside on the grass teaching dance.
Wow.
You were what, a child?
I was 11.
One little picnic.
Yeah,
and
you're gonna figure the surgery
all the people
and
them
you're doing
outside,
child's lessons.
and them learning dance from me, and I'm out on the grass.
You bring the whole children ward outside.
And them can't find me, and them can't find half of the picnic them because we're outside on the grass, and me I teach them dance class. New York City now, and my best story that I remember that has made me who I am today is that I get into a dance company. I get a little scholarship to go to classes at Ailey, but I hear about this other school and I hear about this man named Pepsi Bethel, who I loved, a jazz teacher. Never slink my foot so yet in my life. Me learn only how to turn, do and passe développé. That's what I learned. But Alma Mokian was wonderful. She would bring the real traditional people to teach us coming on those things. So we're learning that.
So she had a little school of dance.
And I'll Harbor View.
I think I remember a story of you passing in a bus and
Yes. I was passing
So we're
in
going to
the...
take a detour of a sir and tell me about the bus at Alma Macken though.
Oh, but my first dance classes was at a prep school with a woman that I don't know her name, but I remember her teaching me some things. But now the real dance now, I'm going up Harbor Drive and I look through the window and I see this dance class. Someone come off of the bus. And I see these children on this floor on the back dancing. So me decide, me put on my bag and me put my hand on the gate and it's there. So me learning demi-plie, grand plie. Me can't go inside now because me can't tell my mother me want to go to dance class because there's another money that to pay.
Yes.
Me don't have the guts to tell my mother that she's a single parent. And me not even think about single parent. Me just know that she not able to pay.
Yeah.
Them people inside they have money in my brain. So me can stay outside of the gate and learn. Well, I think I did it more than once. And one day the children tell on me. And them say, like a girl outside of the gate. And Miss Mocken come to the gate. Miss Mocken even remember. And she said, what you doing? You know, Miss Mocken fiery.
Yes.
What did I say? I don't know what to say because I'm frightened. She said, what you want to dance? And I say, yes. You think you can do it? And me with my face to mouth say, yes, I think I can do it better than the ones inside here. But a similar thing happened in New York City, you know. I went to Queen's College and I go to the dance class. And the teacher is teaching me how to play and I know it's incorrect. Because I've taken Royal Academy of Dance exams.
Yes.
And him telling me things to do that don't go so. So, me not doing it. And him come up to me and say, what is wrong with you? I tell you to do so and so. I said, but it's incorrect. Well, the man said to me, so you think you can teach a dance class? I said, yes. Who tell him to say that to me? You think you can teach a dance class? I said, yes, I can teach it. And I step out. I said, you want me to teach it? And the man said, well, let me see. So I said, first let me fix the play. And I teach the whole class. And I was the only black person in the class. And then all of a sudden, it's like his brain changed. And him changed from trying to teach technique to start a class that we go, so, ooh. Dance was becoming that. There was a moment in history where your foot was so clumsy and you must just
fluidity.
And it's fluid and it's and I said to myself, I can't bother. Then I started to tell them to take off them clothes and get
Crystal
less
net.
clothes.
Yeah.
And I said, no, sir, I can't do that. So I left the class and they had to perform for something and the school had to prove to the school, I guess, that the dance department makes sense. And he find me and asked me if I could come and perform on a big basketball thing. And I said, and do normal things in that, because film things are never very normal. And now the room get locked up. After a while, the room all get locked up. This is something I go on there, I don't know. And I end up performing for him. And then I found it had to do with, you have to have one black at least to get funding.
Yes.
Similar thing happened in Florida years later. I've gone back to New York City now, and I get into Pepsi Bethel's company. And the man is choreographing a Caribbean dance. But we can't find the Caribbean. I dance in the dance, and I said, but maybe I'm not Caribbean.
Maybe just Jamaica, right?
So me go with my mad self again. And I go say to the man, sir, I'm from Jamaica, and I just come. Maybe I can give you a few, Jamaican Caribbean steps. The man get vexed with me.
Oh dear.
No, you're right.
This is Caribbean. It's the Catherine Dunham technique, and it's the only Caribbean technique. And I said to myself, first I hear the name. Me never know nothing about no Catherine Dunham technique. So I shut my mouth, and I said, and it's Caribbean. He said, yes, it's Caribbean. It's the Caribbean technique.
It's the Caribbean
Yeah,
technique.
I said, okay. I keep quiet and say, and he was very angry. But that was the moment. I said to myself, whoa, somebody need to create something that look Caribbean. If this is the Caribbean technique, then somebody need to do something that look Caribbean, because this cannot be Caribbean. It don't look like, maybe it's Caribbean, but a different part of the Caribbean. But it's most definitely not Jamaican.
And that's where the seed for LAntech was planted.
And it took years, because I had to grow as a person. I had to learn, because I believe that you cannot say you're making a light bulb unless you go look on a light bulb. Because you might create the same light bulb that create already. You understand?
Right.
You cannot say you're making orange juice unless you say, okay, is there such a thing named orange juice? Because how can you be creating orange juice if orange juice make already? So I spent years training, years studying. It's very important for you to have knowledge, because you could be reinventing the wheel and don't know you're doing it. Okay? So I studied Horton, I studied Greenham, I studied Dunham, I studied Limon, I took African dance with Dennis Zulu. But I wasn't consciously aware that I was studying to be able to I can tell you that now, but I really believe I was guided. An energy was guiding me. I tell you that now because it's after I do these things I realize
You're connecting the dots.
that I was doing it.
Yeah.
I was consciously studying, because I write in my thesis, and one of the books I wrote is that you have to have all this information if you're going to decide that you're going to do something. So I did it. And in doing that, I know that what I've done is not those things. Because people get confused between the two words, technique and style. People are so stupid when it comes to those two words.
I'm happy you went there, because then here's the other thing. So you went through years, the experience, and not knowing that you're collecting the gems to
That's
then
what I was doing.
To
create something new.
LAntech.
I really wasn't collecting the gems. I was knowing what existed. I was getting to know what existed.
You see, that's why Sabrina said the mystics.
It's very different.
Yes.
The gems were right here. I have a chapter called Looking at Your Own Backyard.
Yes.
You walk over all the gems every day and don't
which
know.
book are you citing it
Soul
from?
casing.
Soul casing.
Looking at your own backyard. Even my own thesis. Because I was a very mischievous child, And my mother told me I must cook rice. And the rice cooking, and me go on my bicycle, go pick Guinea. And me burn up the rice, it black. And my grandmother was there. My grandmother was a very, very funny woman. Hilarious. She said, we have to find a way to get rid of this pot. And my grandmother, dig a hole around the back. And she buried the pot with the burn up rice and we cover the pot. My mother didn't know about this until I was doing my PhD defense.
So why she never said this in the pot?
She looked for the pot, and my grandmother...
And she didn't notice the rice tree.
She don't know anything about no rice burn up. She don't know, she looked for the pot. and my grandma cook another set of rice.
Mm.
We all had to put money together. I remember we put money together and go shop and buy rice and cook rice.
True word.
And share Shango Kabiyesi. So then now, cook the rice, and my mother don't know for years and years and years. And that thing, that little moment, everything in my life told me something in my brain. How many things I'm walking over, how much information about my own culture I am passing every day.
In your own backyard.
Or people give me the information and I automatically assume that it's true. That is one of the biggest problems. So it's a famous person that wrote a book. And the book means it's right. And then I hit on 2 books that I'm not mentioning in this. When we read the book, them people them get award, you know.
And inaccuracies.
And the people them famous and the people them get all kind of things. And the information is so incorrect when you do in-depth research. And then I decided that backyard does not mean,
Dumping things.
no, it doesn't mean the dumping. Backyard for me does not mean only when the slaves arrived or when Columbus arrived. Because backyard started long time. And I go find myself went all the way back to Egypt. And then I, sitting here, I'm truly out of many. I grew up with a Chinese grandfather from Guangdong, China. I have an Indian great-grandmother. I have a maroon grandmother. And I found out recently that who we thought was Cuban was really from Spain, but ended up in Cuba. So I am a true example of outer many. And I don't believe people should ignore any of their ancestral lineage because it has something to do with your
Fingerprint.
this thing here, this human being here. And so I started to look at Chinese things, and I started to look at Indian things and hieroglyphics to find that this thing called classical ballet is not European.
Where is it originated from? Educators.
All over. This thing we call first position play comes from an Indian dance that is documented 4000 BC. Second position, the port de bras of arms, ground back Mars. Look at the hieroglyphics. You see them. You go to Africa, you see all these turns and these leaps. You go to China, you see all this movement of the body. But when people are very good at taking knowledge and saying it's theirs. And that's why I have a book coming out that is called Stolen, Hidden, Invisibilized Truth. The acronym is SHIT.
Stolen, hidden,
Invisibilized truth. Where I write down everything that I found about China, what the things on India, the things that came from Africa, how it all come together.
You're publishing the shit.
I'm going to publish it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm working on it right now. It's almost finished.
Nice.
Okay.
Wow.
But it is my own life trod. So ending up in that class where I was told, and that means once the word Caribbean, I used to wonder how they say, I'm going to teach a Caribbean dance class. What is that? What is Jamaican is not Trinidadian?
Exactly.
What is Trinidadian is not Bayesian? What
Or
is
St. Lucian or any
Go
of
to
the...
Trinidad, you won't see Kumina.
No.
And what they have in Kumina, we don't have here. It all depends on how many enslaved or how many migrants were deposited and what quantity of migrants that impacted on that culture.
the retention.
That resulted in how much retention, blah, 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 blah. So I would like knowledge to be looked at in a different way. And when you go to knowledge, you go to a word called gnosis, Gnosis, which also relates to spirituality.
But that's
word.
that's where I was going in some way, and I wanted to hear when you announced LAntech.
Yeah.
You got a lot of flagging locally.
No, they might have well kill me.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
How dare you?
Yes.
Let me tell you. And what the beauty of it, you see?
And this would have been about what, 90?
Yeah, let me tell you something. It's good. It's good to have children, Now, even if it's not your own children, it's good to accept these young energies. You see, young people, beautiful energies.
Absolutely.
I am surrounded. People say, I go on the set and I'm sitting down, and all the people I'm talking to is all these young people, young males, young females, and me and them sit down and chat the whole time. And it's the most beautiful thing.
Keeps
And
you
they
young.
say the most beautiful things. And they are beautiful.
Yes.
And I have been surrounded by young people who have loved me, supported me, because I love them. Okay, but they are the ones that kept me alive. My dancers. Now, I am creating a technique, not because I see myself as a competition to you, but because this is what God tell me to do. This is my path. This is where I was led. And because I want Jamaica, the technique documents Jamaica on the body. So in studying LAntech, you are studying Jamaica.
Okay.
All of the ancestral knowledge on the body. You know what I have come up with as a synergy. It's my word. A synergizing, synergizing to bridge cultures. There are other information that came over on ships, like from Cuba. Cuba and Jamaica have had a relationship
For years.
historically for years. And that bongo, drum, Congo, have a relationship back to Cuba. And so I started to do years of research. At the time I wasn't doing my PhD. That wasn't even in my head. PhD came into my head one morning when I said, so all these people interview me to get information and then them get the job to lecture. And them never ask me the right questions. They don't even know what to ask me.
And
They
you-
come with a set of questions
Yes.
that they think they are to ask because the academic space told them that's what you must ask. Because one of the most beautiful things about research is when you can form it out what you in your brain.
Yeah.
Start from scratch.
Right.
Start from scratch. Breathe. Because you're going to see things that you never expect. I thought Queenie was doing Kumina. Nobody couldn't tell me that Queenie Imogene Kumina, Kennedy wasn't doing pure Kumina. She's not. She's doing a synthesis of Kumina, and because she practiced revival and Kumina.
Oh.
So the table she put up with all the back of them is
a
revival.
revival.
Yes.
When she hold Kumina and hold a ground table with everything on the ground, she had the pure Kumina. But she was doing a combination of both. But the academic space don't know this. And a lot of them don't want to have anything to do with Africa.
No.
And them don't know nothing about Africa. So when they look at this now, they are going to theorize it based on their academic knowledge and do a lot of SHIT.
All right, so I want to go back to the launch of LAntech, the launch I put in quotations. Give us a time frame of when this was happening, when you decided to introduce your new technique to the dance world.
I wrote the book Soul Casey. No, first of all, I introduced it first at Edna Manley because I have a great respect for Edna Manley.
Okay.
And I thought that was the space I should take it to. I now wonder if it was the right space.
Okay.
I don't know. And then now I was teaching it other parts of the world. And the place where it got accepted first, 100 years ago, was in Cuba. Because a beautiful man named Mr. Michael Manley assisted LAcadco to go to Mexico, but we went through Cuba because we couldn't reach Mexico to Cervantino Festival. Cuba was going. Cuba said, Mr. Manley asked Mr. Castro if he would help me. I get to Cuba with my dancers. I'm not planning to do Sata.
Sata Masagana.
And I hear that we have a performance. We never plan to do no performance. I have dancers in my company who in fashion. So them ask everybody for scarf. And all of a sudden costume I make. And I walk with music of all my dances everywhere I go. And we decide we're going to do Sata in this theater. We don't know Sir Casper going to be in there. We don't know that all these people who are theorists of dance are going to be in the room. And Joseph Manley traveled with us. And we have no makeup. And Sata has dramatic makeup.
No.
And they tell us to go into this room and all these wonderful Cuban makeup artists. From that day till now, LAcadco face never looks so yet. Because when they were finished, when I explained, half their face was one thing and the other half was one. It was something that I've never seen before. And we did Sata and the place went silent. And I was so nervous. I couldn't understand. The response was total silence and then a standing ovation. And then I was called into a room with all these theorists of dance. And Joseph is crying. And I don't know what to do. Why is Joseph crying? And they sat with me and they said, that is not Horton. That is not Graham. That is not Donna. That is not classical ballet. This is a whole new technical way of moving in dance. What is it called? And I said, it's called LAntech. And I sit here right now. And they said to me, one of them called me little girl, you have created an entire new methodology of movement. Do you know that? This time I never know how to write down this methodology. Yeah. Or write down. I am now working on the body primarily.
Right.
I am not sat down now to write out.
Because you've been doing.
I'm doing. Right now, it has a textbook. It has levels from level 1 to professorship. It has examinations, everything.
Wow.
But this is my life's work, which I don't think Jamaica even know what I've done.
Well, they're gonna know now when they watch this episode.
I don't know. And so every other part of the world, London, Holland, I went to fix my key, get a new key, and the man said to me, why were you in Ghana? I saw a documentary on you and they taught something in Ghana. Somebody else who was just here a while ago
Michael
said to me, I was in my hotel room and I see you in this part of the world. And I honestly don't know what I did this because I said to you, I was meant to do it. It's not an easy thing to do. I see a course being held now at Edna on creating a technique, and it's a 1-semester course. And I said to myself, it's an interesting thing to do, because Master Graham took years to do a technique, but it's good because then you're talking about how, and that's a good thing to do.
It's a start.
But you cannot, and the misunderstanding of technique and style. Style is when you have a technique and you put your flavor on it.
Yes, style.
You still make rice and peas, but you put in a different seasoning. But I still rice and peas.
Yeah.
Technique have to have a whole different philosophy, a whole new way of moving the body.
Whole different vocabulary.
A vocabulary that impacts on the muscles anatomically and everything different. It's totally different. You borrow things. But when it comes together in that bridge, it's a new movement. You cannot, and it was Ivy Baxter who said to me, all these people influenced me now. Ivy Baxter and Lavinia Williams. Lavinia Williams walked from Edna Manley down to the YWCA to look at me, my class. And she said to me, oh my God, you have the different parts of the body moving in different rhythm patterns. And what you have done, and that was the second person.
So the Cuban experience was about what time do you remember?
Lord, me love. Me old now,
80-something, 90-something?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I went to Venezuela because there was a Venezuelan conference and I was invited. And the Cubans were there and they were to teach a class. And they told the people that they're not teaching a class. I must teach a class. And I was, what's his name, who did Soul Curry?
Did what?
Choreographer of Soul Curry on NDTC.
Okay.
He said, no, let L'Antoinette teach the class. I was shaking. I was a young girl. I said to him, why are you doing this to me, Eduardo Rivera? Why are you telling them to make me teach it? He said, they have to see what you have done. And I was shaking. And all these dance colors, mostly classical ballet. Because the thing about LAntech, is that because Europe came off the ship with Africa, the same time, you can't ignore Europe.
Yeah.
When the enslaved come off, guess what came off to?
The slave master then?
The slave master. So their culture is here. We don't sit at a table on the floor and pass around the food. Like I have seen the pass around the food, both in China and in Africa, because I've been to China. We sit at a table with a knife and fork.
Which is very...
Although the Chinese, at least who came up with knife and fork. But we sit at... So the culture is here. And the first technical training taught in Jamaica was by Hazel Johnson, downtown, classical ballet. So you can't ignore that. I am training a body that can end up dancing anywhere, so you can't ignore it. So in Venezuela, I have to teach the class. I'm so scared. And I taught the class. And there was a woman that frightened me. She looks very much like she was in charge. And if she says stupidness, it's stupidness. I felt that energy. and Eduardo stood up one way, and Miguel Iglesias stood up another way, and I don't know why am I in this room, dear God. What I'm telling you is, to do this, I had to find how not to be afraid. I had to say, okay, swallow, do it. If you're doing this, if them say it's crap, it's crap.
But do it.
But do it,
Yes.
or you won't know.
Yes.
And I wasn't being supported by Jamaica in any way.
Are you supported by them now?
Why you ask me that?
No, I mean, it's not really to blame anybody, but I have come to
Why you ask me
understand.
that?
Well,
I think she wants answer.
I think there's a known thing that Jamaica does not yet know the value of its art and its artists.
You know what it is to develop a technique in dance? It's a major thing, okay?
It is.
So there's a woman in Belize who developed a technique. So her government built her a whole entire studio and built her. Eduardo Rivera was given a studio in Santiago. The people who worked on the Cuban Moderna technique, Cuban Technica, La Técnica Cubana, have a studio in Havana.
Okay. See where that is
I'm not
going.
going
That
to
answers the
answer.
question. That answers the question.
LAntech is not taught at Edamande College.
It
So
answers the
I
question.
don't know what else to tell you. And still there is this, and I am not angry.
No.
I am so grateful to those who have identified all over the world. So I'm going to give you one example of going to Duke University and taking 2 of my dancers to perform and to teach. Everywhere I go to perform and everywhere I go to teach, I'm either invited or I raise the funds on my own. There is no, I raise the funds.
I want to ask about Lithuania in a second, but
Oh my gosh. Oh, that you asked about Lithuania.
yes.
And so I go there to represent Jamaica because I don't want people to think of Jamaica in ways less than. I want to present Jamaica at the highest level. And I walked into the Duke University and the hallway is very long. And as I was walking through the hallway, every single person was doing like this. Antoinette is here. Look, this is the lady who did LAntech. That doesn't happen in Jamaica.
No.
And my 2 dancers, when we got down to the bottom of it, my now assistant artistic director, which is Jessica Shaw, she said, my God, Antoinette, in this country, in this place, you're like a little goddess. Poor me with my little humble said, I never noticed them do it. I never know what was happening.
You just walk and go.
I just a walk. When it was time to teach the dance class, of course, the organizers wasn't, the people who organized wasn't aware fully, but it was the younger dancers. And they put me in a small studio. It was a problem because the people them couldn't get in to take the class because it was small. And so maybe it is the world who's supposed to give me the credit for what I do.
Yes.
Maybe I need to do more work. Maybe you're right. Maybe just that I'm L'Antoinette, and therefore I think we all are important. I have great respect for every dance company. And I have the greatest respect. And that's why I always, everywhere I go, I lecture, I mention Professor Neckleford. Because of his contrapuntal rhythms, his way of choreographing. And I think that every one of us in the performing art is important. I can't explain it to you. People say, okay, they're making dancehall music and they may not like it. Hello, stop. Listen to those rhythm patterns. Listen to what is going on look at what is going on the body. I have dancehall dancers in the back of my studio all the time because of my daughter. They're my children. I love them dearly. And one day, I stop and tell a few of them to do passage développé, and they did it just as good as my own dance, and they never took a dance class yet.
Wow.
The girl foot points so. I said, no, look at that.
L'Antoinette, we've seen some of your productions, and I dare say They're not the typical
Dance shows.
dance shows. It's an experience.
That's what
you
I-
transform
That
this
is exactly what it's
space,
supposed to be. It's supposed to be an
the
experience.
program.
Everything.
What going in your head? So I want you
It's
to
not
answer
my
that
head alone,
question.
me love it. You know, there's another head, you know. It's named Stines.
Yes?
There's other heads.
Okay.
And I listen.
Yes.
But it is usually, I have the first idea of what I want, right?
Yes.
I know what, for example, right now I'm having a season in November.
Okay.
And for some reason I want to name it Black Pepper. And I know why I want to name it Black Pepper. Because of the energies and the spiciness and the and how what's going to happen. So when I get a name now, I drop the name. That don't mean it when name Black Pepper when I don't know. That's what I feel.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, seasoned, you know.
I love the name Black Pepper.
Yeah.
Then this team of wonderful people, come together, because that means the experience must begin in the parking lot.
Yes.
The experience for a performance, don't begin when you sit down. It begins outside as you walk in. That person who welcome you, that energy, that feeling. Well, by the time you reach in the theater and sit down, you must feel like, oh my God, what's going to happen?
In a nice seat?
What?
Yeah.
And then I have a thing I do. I started it with passion fruit. I think I started it.
That's my favorite
where
fruit.
I put mangoes underneath everybody's seat. And at the end of the show, I said, you know, I have a little present for you. You must see people cry about them mango.
Yes.
I remember when Douglas Sareen have a mango and him get a East Indian mango. And this person was to get a Julie mango. And she said, me don't want it, Julie. She said, give me my mango. Me not give me
Yes.
my-"
Wow.
It's beautiful because then people, you sit in that theater beside somebody for 1 hour and a half to 2 hours and you don't say goodnight.
I know.
And that person in energy has just went into your energy and floats up and you never even smile. You see, when you don't pick up that mango, you and that person is talking.
Yeah, man.
And you're sharing
Yes.
energy in a beautiful way. So it's something I started. And I also liked when I have an invitation that was made from Edna Man. The college students made it out of it's made out of it's not charcoal. One is made of crocus. One was made out of where you make
Calabash.
not calabash.
Too big.
Pottery.
Okay.
And it made it into the newspaper. I feel everything must be stimulated. Your taste buds, your eyes, it bothers me when I walk into a theater and people sit down and oh, it's wonderful. Did you enjoy yourself?
Can I make a confession?
Uh-huh.
For years, probably should make a confession.
Confess.
You might have to edit this one out, Damion. For years, the first time I saw any shows over in Beat and you gave Black complimentary tickets for us is then young people starting out. And blew my mind, I didn't know a dance experience could be like that. Saw other shows that you did, I was like, I'd love to perform with like this.
Oh my Lord,
Yes.
look at
So
that.
you know how a student.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Because I use everything. I use actors.
Yeah, we know. I know. You use Donald to play
Donald
Anansi.
play Nancy.
Yeah.
My mother said to me, I don't like this dance thing. I said, what you say, mommy? She said, me not like it. One dance, come on, curtain close. Next time, come on, curtain close. I'm tired of that. I said,
Break
what?
the moment.
I said, what? She said, yes. And then this guy, can't bother come back. I said, what you said? And I said, you know what? That's what people don't do. People have egos that are so big.
They don't listen.
My son said to me one day when I was choreographing a dance, he said, Mommy,
Robert or Aaron?
Robert.
Okay.
He said, Mommy, you understand that dance? I said, what? He said, I want to know. You understand what you choreograph? Because nobody else understands. And me just delete the dance. For me, dance is a moving painting. So if you look at a painting and the green don't work, just change the color to pink. All right? Dance is a moving piece of art. You can shape it anyway. I just said to him, I said, make a watch it dance. He said, okay, Bobby. Me don't know the dance name now.
Remember I told you I had some questions, right, from a longer time. You used to bad up people in your rehearsal to say, me with Obia, yo.
You ever love it to see?
Yeah.
And I want everybody to think I'm an Obia woman.
No, I mean,
Lord Jesus, you know why? You know one of the things too? You know what the word obia means?
No.
Obia is not a negative word. Because of our lack of of knowledge.
Yes.
Obi is a coconut, the coconut. 4 pieces of coconut shells that you can throw in Africa, they throw it on the ground to get answers.
Oh.
They call it Obi divination.
Okay.
It's a way of getting answers. It's not something to hurt somebody. So when I say people take it that way, I stop saying it now because people believe it. And them scandal me.
Yeah.
You know, I say, but let me tell you something. We are so lost in this country. Language. Knowledge is power. When you know things, you tread with less fear. It don't mean what they have decided to put to it. If you go back and look up the word obi, obia, you're going to see a whole heap of explanations. So
You use it to keep them in line.
and I dead with laugh, but
Yeah.
it resulted in scandalizing me.
Oh.
My children hate when I say it. They hate it with a passion. Mommy, don't say those words again. Don't tell the people that. Because let me tell you, it has gone as far that I was just told recently that the students of Edna Mandy dance believe that I'm the owner of a cult, but I can dance so well.
Oh.
And all these things are said about me by people who don't know me.
Don't feel bad about it. Casey get that all the time.
Oh dear God. I don't know how that call got into this discussion, but okay.
But I know it.
Keep that connection.
They create this image of me, and then when they meet me,
Yeah.
they say, "Oh, that's the same person that I was talking about."
Because you're trying to create to control the narrative.
And then when they come to my dance studio and realize I really should have not danced, I should have done comedy.
Yes, I think so too.
Honest to God, my dancers don't laugh with me; they laugh at
you.
me.
Okay.
They are constantly laugh. And I sometimes say to them, what I do now, I created this, I want to tell them that you look bad, right? So I want to tell them, I'm not going to say the word. I say, you look like, and then hold them say shit. I create a movement. This is how
That's
you
a
look.
word.
It's a word. And they know what the word means. So if I'm in public now,
Yes.
and I want to tell my dancers, say you look bad, I do so. And say, oh, okay. So they know how they look. I don't have to say nothing now. I just take my hand and do it.
Yeah.
And then say, oh, we look bad. We don't look good.
Yes.
We look bad.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
So your LAntech, and you said it's predominantly in the body, and you wanted to represent Jamaica and so on.
But some other Caribbean islands might
No,
take it.
hold on a minute.
They might take it and make it theirs.
Oh, I thought you mean add a little something.
And that's when it-
Your
it's
dance
fine,
is
no.
sexy.
My dance is sexy?
Yeah, all
Because
your
me
dance,
sexy. Because me sexy.
I agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's such a good compliment. Although I asked for the compliment.
No, but it's true, though.
I believe that
You
I believe that
bubble.
Jamaica is for a man, a woman, and for a woman, a man. This is the most sexiest, beautiful island. Lush. Yeah, but really, just take a moment and taste an East Indian mango. Just go some bus up my Bombay mango. Jamaica is that. It's a sensuous place. And I believe the women are the most sensuous. And I believe, and I guess, look at Rex Cycle for that, and I agree on this one, the bottoms of the women,
Yes.
And I believe the men, those who choose to be, are strong. And I believe I must present, it's Jamaica me presenting,
Yes.
And when the curtain open, you mustn't confuse me with another country. This is one of my rules. When that curtain open in London, you mustn't confuse me and think I'm British.
Right.
I am not coming there to be British. I'm not a copy of you. I'm not a clone of you. And I'm not having identity crisis. This is who I am. And so when I lecture, see people go and lecture and they feel like in America now, so they have to get accent. I lecture just like this. And I say, when you don't understand the word, put up your hand and I will tell you. Because guess what? I am tired of the identity crisis. I am tired of everybody wanting to copy everybody else. It is embarrassing to me now. So LAntech and LAcadco, you walk down the road as a man. You are very fortunate to have this wonderful, fabulous looking wife. Because if you didn't,
Repeat it.
a whole heap of wonderful, fabulous looking one out there. But it's not only about the fabulous looking, it's the intellect, it's the consciousness. And we have that. But one of the problems I have is that, so you hear a piece of Ivy Baxter, go back to Ivy Baxter, who said that, so you do a little dinky mini and then you walk like a ballerina. What is that? What is that?
You mix
So
up.
all of a sudden, you are African and now, oh, what is the transition step between this dinky mini and the next African step? Why it have to be a ballet step? Why can't you have a transition step that is speaking? So we dance in patois. We don't dance in English.
Thanks.
We dance in patois.
Explain dance for me. That's not the word, because I see it and I say, okay, it's not D-A-N-C-E, it's D-A, plenty A's, and N-C-E.
And there's also dance.
Dance.
D-A-U-N-C-E.
Okay.
Because when I was little, and it still happens, and parents want to tell you that their children went to dance class, a ballet class, they say, oh, my daughter went to dance. That means they got something fantastic.
Yes.
And she can dance. It's no longer dance. She dances. And it have a you in it, dances. When you say, boy, she dance, that means she going to go stand, she going to chip like in carnival, or she might move her bottom.
Yeah.
But
The hips will be involved
I
in
learned
dance.
from Maureen Warner-Lewis, who wrote about the fact that our long A's in patois specifically comes from Africa. And when I went to Ghana in a taxi, the taxi man, them and the people in the car tell me stop, tell them, say them me not from Ghana, because we speak English a lot like Ghanaians with long A's.
You made me think of the phrase dancer can't stall with that long
Right.
A thing
It's
that
a
you just
long
know when
A's.
ago.
So for me, dance is spirit dance. Dance is not only when you go to the dance studio and learn to play. There is a person out there. I go to a party and a woman get up and taps calypso, and when she moves, it's the most beautiful thing I see. When she goes, so she's not bubbling or nothing, but it's the most beautiful rhythm. She dancing from her spirit. That is dance. That's spirit dance.
It's so funny. I mean, Sabrina and I, we're hearing some music.
And dance is when you're accepted. You're accepted because you dance.
Yes, yes.
You went to ballet class.
All right. So earlier I mentioned Lithuania because I do recall about 99 or
Oh, you
2000.
remember that? God only knows.
I was at the time, and a couple of
Sabrina is an archivist.
Yes, I do
this
like
is
to know where things
wonderful.
come from, and I do like to. So I do remember that trip, and then coincidentally, I was having a conversation with the former consulate of Lithuania, Lois Sherwood, asking her how that connection happened, and I can't remember fully what she said, but why did we go to Lithuania with LAcadco, and what was that experience like?
I didn't go.
You didn't go? Was this a dancers that did go?
No, I sent Howard Daly to represent me and
Yes,
take
because he
care
was
of
a
them.
part of LAcadco.
Howard.
Yes.
Howard, do you mean Howard?
died.
The
Yes.
guy.
And he died.
I see the spirit.
Yes. Howard who
The
plays piano.
energy.
And the energy.
The energy.
Howard was my best friend who was born on my birthday.
Okay.
Oh.
And Howard went with them. I've never been to Lithuania.
Oh.
And they went. I choreographed the entire thing. And Lois Sherwood approached us. And they went off to Lithuania and got standing ovations and did well and came back with wonderful pictures, which I have at home. But this is not about Lithuania only. This is about the fact that I trusted Howard to take care of my dancers, to go on this tour. And one time LAcadco went to the airport, half the dancers went to Spain. We were at the airport the same day, and half went to Canada. And I went to Spain, and Celia Jones went to Canada. And one time I went to the airport, we were going back to Mexico to the Cervantino Festival, and I didn't realize that my passport was something did wrong with my papers. And in the airport, they said, but she can't go on the plane. And they just hand the per diem to Celia and this to Glenda. I said, go have a good time. And I went home, I went to my bed. I was tired preparing them, and they went.
You listed Mexico, Lithuania, Cuba. I think you mentioned Venezuela. I remember New York, Duke University. In terms of places that LAcadco and LAntech has made a performance or made an entrance, are there any other countries or cities that, LAcadco has been, or you have been lecturing on?
I hope I can remember. I worked at I've lectured in London. I'm trying to remember the university I lectured at because it's a famous one. London, China, Japan, Africa, Barbados, Suriname, Haiti, Trinidad, Spain. I don't think I can remember everyone.
You know,
But I mean, Washington, D.C. at Kennedy Center. BAM, Dance Africa, Brooklyn Academy of Music, Dance Africa, where that one really left a lasting impression on us because when we got to New York, there were billboards of LAcadco all over New York City, SATA. And BAM has had years of BAM Dance Africa, and on their 50th anniversary, they chose a few pictures, I think 50 pictures, to put in the subway stations, and one was LAcadco.
What was that like for you?
What was that like for me is amazing because when we did BAM with Baba Chuck Davis and other dance companies, but we were the biggest invited one from Jamaica. We were going to the airport and they said that the review is out. Well, of course, me and my mad self is the back of the bus, me reach, and me don't want to see the review. Me don't want to see it. Me don't want to hear it, me don't want to see it. And the dancers, some responded with tears, some responded making noise, and finally it reached the back of the bus. And this reviewer I hear she's a very hard reviewer. And she was reviewing BAM. But it looked as if the whole thing was about LAcadco. And she spoke about the lines of the body, and she spoke about how you could know she's an intelligent dancer. Intelligent dancer. She said the use of the traditional forms with contemporary. And when she was finished, I couldn't move from the back of the bus. I was so honored that she saw me.
You got an ovation of
She
words.
saw in
That's what
my
you got.
soul. And when we did Kennedy Center, there was also another a response like that. But you have to understand, some of these events we are invited to, and the invitations are strange. Sometimes you get airline ticket, accommodation, meals, but you're not getting paid. And I go out and raise the funds. But all of these, and some of them we get everything.
Okay.
Every time I will get everything, like BAM. But it's important to me, of course, because of my own work, to show my work to the world. But I feel, as you've seen our show, that we were a real representation of Jamaica. I'm very nationalistic about my country. And that doesn't mean you're going to only see reggae or hear reggae music. You're going to hear because I also love young choreographers, and I like to feature young choreographers. And sometimes the work is done to jazz music, because what I'm trying to show you that the piece High, which was about drug addiction, and because I think there's a lot of choreographers that can take steps, put it together, and it's pretty, and that's wonderful. But for me,
Story.
you have to leave feeling it, tasting it. You have to leave the theater, go and have dinner, and talk about it.
The way I describe it
even
is
if
like
you don't like it, it's okay.
staying you like
Yeah, if you don't like it,
afterwards.
you say, I don't like it. But you come, that means it has left an impression that you want to talk about. Because she's talking about, one person backed me up in Pegasus because of High. And afterwards I found she was on drugs. I found out. Why you have to put drug addiction on stage? Because you can sit with somebody one day and say, you shouldn't take drugs, and it don't reach them. But they sit in a theater and look at themselves and say, shit, that's what I look like. That's how it looks when I do this. That's how it's impacting on people's lives. And maybe you go and think about it. So, yeah. So we have been to quite a lot of countries. Some of them I don't remember. I'm pleased that you remember Lithuania. Because if you had asked me without saying Lithuania, it's so long ago, maybe I would not have said it.
It is over 20
And it's an
years ago.
important. We went to Cervantina Festival twice. My dancers who go said it's one of the best things they ever got to. You go to about 15 parts of Mexico. And when we went to back to Mexico to do the final performance, that's the biggest one, people came to the theater with a program from 10 years ago. the people came back to see us with the program in their hand from the 10 years.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think Jamaica really knows. Somebody said to me that I need somebody to really tell these stories more.
I think we might have to do a part 2 and probably
Invite.
and go to Vineyard Town at your studio.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I would love to.
And just because I've learned so much, not just about you and LAcadco talking to you, but about Jamaica. And I'd like more people to hear more.
Yeah.
And
You
see LAntech in action.
Yes, I do a lecture, you see, where I use dance to teach about the history of Jamaica, because every single symbolic moment in Jamaica have a dance to go with it. Slavery, abolition of slavery, Brookings. You know, Rastafari movement, Bingi. The explosion of a people from the inner city with a thing called dancehall. What happens with reggae music, and politically what caused all those statements to be made with reggae music. And reggae music was screaming for our people.
Yeah.
Every single thing in Jamaica, because the body is what communicates first. A person cannot be able to speak, but they can communicate with this body, with this hand, with this eye, with facial expressions. So everything in Jamaica, you can tell there's a dance there somewhere.
Other than LAntech, what do you want to be remembered for?
I don't know if it's LAntech I want to remember it for.
Other than?
I think LAntech is going to live because my dancers are going to make sure it survives.
And it's documented.
And it's documented. But it amazes me when I hear all these stories made up about me, because my whole life is about love. I have a son at my yard right now that is my picnic. And there's more than one that I have brought up that are not my children, you know. His father was shot 7 times. He was murdered. And I brought him up, and I have others like that. I think it's more about not only LAntech, but my biggest achievement is my children. My biggest achievement, first and foremost, are my children. You know, I keep telling parents, especially young parents, that your children didn't ask to come in this world. So it is your responsibility. Even if you're a woman, because my husband died at age 32 of cancer. And if you're a woman alone, it's still your responsibility. Your children, you must nurture them. And my thing, I enjoy choreographing for Grand Gala because I have their attention for that moment. And before they leave, I make sure they know that they are king and queens. And I remember telling them to enter the statement. I said to the man, remember you're a king. And I watched them walk. And I said to somebody beside me, I'm not fixing it. Make them walk, because that's how they feel as a king.
Right.
And I said to the children, little girls, if you're a queen, it means you have to love yourself. This is my moment that I have them in front of me, that when they leave, they must know. Even them say, my teacher said me is a queen. That means you're a queen.
Until they can say, I am a queen. They
Even
can
them
take
said
your
so.
lens
Even
and
them
look at
said so.
themselves.
So there was a little baby girl I had going around the stadium, and the little king never come out. I don't know what happened backstage, but she never reached out. And when she was finished, I bent down. I said, what were you today? I said, you're the queen of everything in here, don't it? So what are you? She said, I'm a queen. That's important to me. So my legacy is everybody I've touched. All those little souls that I have touched over all these years, because they're all over the world, you know. All over the world, I have people who come and study with me. I have people who study online. I have people who, because LAntech speaks about the history of Jamaica and everything. Yeah,
There's a phrase
that.
that says, I live forever because I'm a teacher.
Yes. But I don't feel like I've ever worked a day in my life.
Really?
Never. I love choreographing and teaching. I love those children in that stadium. I love, yeah, we're now making a film. It is hard. I'm trying to get the rest of the funding. It is going to be a film that in the year 4500, You can still show it and you will know, you will see Jamaica. It's a film that is in the ocean, that is everywhere. And I am working on it now, and I'm at a point where I need more money to make it, but I have faith that I will get it. Because my dancers always say, you're going to get it. But God knows where it come from, the heavens, the tree, we don't know, but it going to come.
It's been working.
Yes, and it's really fantastic. I have the best working on it. And it is one of my legacies. This is definitely going to be one of my legacies.
Amania is one of your legacies.
My
as well.
children.
Yes,
My
yes,
children.
Yes, yes.
My children, who now don't know they are my children.
Oh, okay.
They now think that they are my parents.
Parents, yeah, I know that happens.
Well, that's
That
good.
is what is
Good
going
for
on
you.
now.
That's good.
But I think my best achievement, my son Bobby.
He dances, right?
No, my Bobby.
My dance with the one
Bobby
show.
used to dance.
vampire.
Yes.
Singer
He
that
choreographed
sing,
the
Aisha was
vampire.
in
Yes. And when he danced, they used to call him the little. They used to say he's a black Mauritian. He was very good. He was very,
He's an
very
attorney
good.
now, right?
He's an attorney at law.
Yes.
Oh, I'm still remembering
He
that
does-
piece with
it's
Aisha.
amazing. I want him to restage it.
Yeah.
And he
I
does
will
he does
rewatch it.
cyber law as well as law artists. He's involved in film in his own way.
Yeah.
He's involved in film. But he is, I don't know if he's my son. Because
He's your father.
his father died when he was so young, that we grew up together.
Mm.
You know?
Like your brother.
I tell everybody when I grow up, I want to be like him. Because I don't grow up yet, you know.
This is the son that says if you understand the piece that you choreograph.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, the best one was when he said somebody wanted me to put Sata on a company in America. They were not going to pay me. They were going to put it on white women. And then was going to hire my soloist to come maybe do the solo. And I'm pondering, should I put this dance company on this company? And I'm getting paid. And I think we're supposed to come and put it on them. It was a strange request. He was very young. He said, Mommy, I have to meet with you. Remember, you're a son. And he said, I have to sit higher than you. So he sit in a chair higher than me and I sit low. He said, Mommy, are all women illogical? I said, what? He said, look at the facts. I should have known he'd be a lawyer.
Yes.
He said, you're not getting paid. Da-da-da-da. Why are you even thinking about it? Forget it.
Yes.
You cannot do it. He came off of his chair, he left, and it done.
That's it. Yes.
It finished.
Yes.
I will never forget that.
Wow.
I remember, I was stunned. I remember sitting on like this thinking, all women are not illogical, just me. I remember saying that, Bobby, all women are not illogical. In this moment is me.
Yes.
I just me like illogical.
Yeah.
This is a child, you know. I'm talking him was more than maybe 12, 13.
Wow.
And that's what he said to me.
Yeah.
And I'm all my children are my gifts, you know, but not only my children. You know, my children are my best gifts.
Yes.
They were sent to help me. You think I am supposed to help them, but God sent them
To help
to be, and my dancers are that to me.
Yes.
They're my gifts. They could dance anywhere.
Yes. I think Orin is in Lion King, right?
Already it's in Lion King,
Yes.
and this is my pride also. I've trained dancers that end up in Lion King, they end up in ballet companies. I mean major European ballet companies. They end up in Garth Fagan company. Sometimes I think I shouldn't train them so good.
Can you lose them?
I lose them.
Yeah.
But I don't lose them as a dancer. You see,
No.
I love them. So when I'm leaving, me ball.
Yes.
Me go in the bathroom and ball. Me try go to the airport and keep a straight face, but me ball. Because, you know, they have given so much to me.
The root,
But
remember?
they have, yeah, and that's what it is. So when I was very young, someone asked me what I wanted to do with life. And I said, I want to be remembered. That was it. I don't want to be a black pepper in the ocean. You can't find that black pepper. Can you imagine one piece of black pepper in the ocean?
You said your children are your gifts.
Yes.
And I'd like to gift you something.
Yes, yes.
Earlier, you mentioned that, sometimes you see a bit of tension in somebody that, maybe they're not as confident as they want to be.
Yeah.
Well, this book is my second book, I'm Not Afraid of Me Anymore.
Oh, nice.
It's my journey to being less fearless and more in my own skin.
Wonderful.
And as I said, my first interaction with you about breathing into it.
This is nice. Thank you.
Yes, so
But let me tell you, you must be so proud of her, don't you?
Always. From college
Although you
days.
give her so much trouble.
I don't. It's the other way around.
Thank you so very much. It's COVID, so but still, thank you so very,
Thank
very much.
you for.
You know, I like to read because I also choreograph the spoken word. I'm known for that without music. Just
I know.
I love that. And that's why I love Jean Winterbreeze so much and Kamau Brathwaite from Barbados.
You did a whole section of a choreography, which was just RFM News.
Yes.
And then after that, it was Diallo.
Yeah. Oh gosh, this girl know LAcadco. Come on. You know, I'm torn right now as to what to put on stage for the season and to restate something. And thank you for, yeah, I took the news and I choreographed the news. It was about some boys
Yes.
that were murdered by police and they were begging for their life.
Yes.
And when I did it, their parents came to the theater. And when I went into the lobby, I didn't know what to do myself. The mothers were crying, fathers were crying, and they were so grateful to me. But that it's like it took my children and killed them. And they were begging for their life. And they were 18 and 19 and yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's really been, I don't know, refreshing is not the word, but
Rejuvenating.
yes, fulfilling.
But I will hold you to come into LAcadco and looking at LAntech.
Not just that. I think also for Sabrena to dance too.
Yeah, I think
Because she always wanted you to dance.
She can come anytime.
Yeah, I'm serious about that. That's something I want to do
Yes.
before.
But you must do it then.
But yes,
You mustn't say you want to do it.
that's what I tell you. You see, me never intend to tell you. So
I was in Japan and I wanted to go. And what's the train in Japan that is the fastest train?
Bullet train.
And nobody, Jamaicans in Japan, nobody would go with me. And I said to myself, this is one fear I'm going to get rid of. Because I like company. No. And I like company, you know, I love company. I pick up myself in the morning and I walk up the street, up the street, I reach a train station and I write down the name of the train and I write down so I want to go to Tokyo or somewhere. And then give me the ticket. Nobody not speak English, you know. And everything written in that, but I see the word Tokyo, I'm see bullet train, I go down in the train, I sit down, me one and God, you know. And I went to Tokyo and I walk up and down the hall and I went to the fashion district because I want to buy a money, something pretty in the fashion district. And I'm asking questions and a young man come up to me. It's perfect British English. He said, can I assist you, please? And I tell him, I don't know how, I don't know how to go back to the train. I walk up and down until I don't know where the train station is. And I said, where are you from? He said, here. I said, where you learn English? He said, that's why I'm talking to you. I want to practice. And him walk with me, and him chat to me, and him practice, and him practice. And him say, there's another market. And him say, you see, if I didn't have faith in me, look how God just provides somebody.
yeah,
And from that time, I can't go anywhere by myself.
yeah.
When I reach back now, all the Jamaicans say, you went? How was it? You can carry us tomorrow? I said, no. I don't go. Go by yourself. But this is beautiful, really beautiful. And I am looking forward to putting it beside my bed and read it little by little. This you read little by little.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for being on Curtain Call.
What a nice name.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it.
All the curtains.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And we look forward to part 2, and we look forward to our next guest.
And I look forward to you to come.
I am coming. I'm gonna either call you or Amani,
Yeah.
because I think I have your number still, but definitely will call you.
I'm looking forward.
And you tell me when you can.
And you
See
come.
if I can.
You know, Leonie Forbes wanted to dance and she danced. I put her on stage. You know that Muta Baruka wanted to choreograph and I let him choreograph.
Really? I know Leon is Serbo.
I let a dancer, Howard, be his assistant. And he said, I feel this. And Howard would demonstrate and a dancer would demonstrate. And he said, no. And he would move his body and he would say, oh, this is what you're trying to get. And he did choreograph.
Wow.
That's all I got me choreograph.
Yeah.
Join us next time on Curtain Call when we speak with another creative who has done wonderful work, and we find out more about their enlightening, beautiful story in front of the curtain, in between projects.
On Curtain Call. Come, sit down closer.
Yes, who the picture.
Come, sit down closer.
Yes, who the picture.